It's Saturday. Good Saturday to everybody. Let's start this. I'm a little late, right? I think I'm a minute or two late, but that's all right. Right, we're still within. I hope everyone is having a pretty good Saturday. Uh, hey, we got Biz in the chat. Good to see you, Ted. Let's give that a like. I hope everybody's Saturday is going well. It's been sort of rainy. I'm still folding laundry, which is pretty good. Um, Played a lot of guitar this morning. Uh, I was gonna cook a meal, but I got caught up in football games and folding laundry and then old movies. And before you know it, my weekend was away from me. Pretty good stuff. So I hope your weekend was like that, right? Uh, Nicely meandering through your day. Or if you really had something going on, I hope you blew it out the box. Uh, excuse me. Today was supposed to be. I haven't done a lot of guitar streams. Today was supposed to be a guitar stream, but I feel like I've gotten into the habit of talking about politics so much, even as this thing started out as a guitar stream. I'm gonna dedicate a day of the week to guitar streaming, just but I didn't do that in this one, did I? I don't think I did. Uh, I'm still figuring it out. Um, nice. Uh, hey William, good to see you in the chat. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I mean, the new James Bond movie is out, and people are talking about that. They're still talking about Dave Chappelle. We spoke about this yesterday, right? Maybe Dave Chappelle isn't for you if you don't get where he's coming from or what he's saying. It's the criticism within the tent that people should pay attention to. And he said a lot of things in that special that people ignored for the more meat, more angsty, more um, clickbaity trans try to cancel Chappelle, right? Um, but I will say this: I don't think it's his best Netflix special, um, but I do think that it it ties in his all his other Netflix specials nicely, like a Marvel Universe thing, where he refers back to them, which I think is really cool. Yeah, exactly. He's very consistent in that regard, right? And they keep consistently missing his point. And he asked it yesterday. Well, he asked it in the special. Can a trans person be racist? Right? It's the idea that what or was it homophobic? No, a homosexual person be racist. Anyway, but it's the idea that just because you call yourself uh, a minority with by a different standard does not mean that you get along with all the other people who call themselves minorities. So I think that's what it was. Instead of addressing the issue, people are trying to get the conversation to go away by canceling the person who brought it up, which has happened a couple of times. Yeah, he is. Dave Chappelle is, and like he said, I mean, what do they risk? He said in the special, right? He said he walked away, right? What did they do other than have this opinion, right? They didn't start anything. They didn't right. He didn't help anybody. Uh so yeah, I think at this point his whole position is, and my whole thing is this: like the baby, he made this argument about the baby. I'm like, maybe the baby isn't your audience. Maybe it's nice that his audience broadened and included you, but you're not his core audience. If you can't understand where he comes from, right? And he sings a lot about violence, so maybe you're not listening to what he's talking about. So all these reasons are why some of these, well, some of these, I don't want to call them urban, but let's just call it black artists. Some of these black artists view the world differently. So, maybe you should discuss why they view the world that way, rather than trying to like cancel everyone or everything. And yeah, I don't think Dave Chappelle can be canceled. So this is one thing I wanted to read. Uh, Black people formed one of the largest militias in the U.S. Now its leader is in prosecutors' crosshairs. So they haven't charged him with anything yet, but I hadn't heard about this. But like I said, since all these marchings and nobody's showing up with marchings, there's been a lot of black militias being like formed, right? And that tells me that they've given up on like I'm not part, but like people have given up on this whole peaceful marching thing. Now it's about we better fucking protect ourselves. All right. Everyone, I'm gonna take a second. This is my mom. Wow. Okay. So I just got some bad family news. I'm sorry to put you guys on hold, but whoa. Uh, this is gonna be a short one. We're trying to do 20 minutes. We're 8 minutes in. Um, yeah, I just had a death in my family. Uh, I gotta tell you, man. So, I mean, nobody can go to the funeral either just because coronavirus. So, wow. Yeah, well, we were talking about this militia leader. I was going to read you the story. Let's do that. Maybe that'll. We're not gonna stop the show. It won't be as long as usual though. Maybe we'll do a half an hour. Um, so we're talking about militias. The black militia thing I find amazing. Uh, and for all the reasons that I've been calling out, that's why I left Facebook because I was just kind of like all these. First, they call like the first people on Facebook who I argue with, who is supposed to be on my, I call it in my tent on my side, my white liberal friends, right? Uh, didn't really care about the gentrification, didn't really care about the police like violence. They didn't really care about, and I was like, whose fuck side are you on, right? So then they just, in my opinion, they just sort of changed their name from liberal to progressive, and I was like, what is like? So now when I hear people say progressive, I'm like, what's the difference? My politics have definitely changed since I moved from Brooklyn. But I was like, and my last 2 years on Facebook was full of me saying that we have no allies, right? Not fucking around coalition. Um, that's just a stupid name for a coalition, but still. The Not Fucking Around Coalition, NFAC, is a black nationalist militia group in the United States. The group advocates for black liberation and separatism. It has been described by news outlets as a black militia. It denies any connection to the Black Panthers or Black Lives Matter, right? So the Black Panthers now have an armed wing, right? The new Black Panthers is a Black Panther. The new Black Panthers sued the new Black Panther Party was sued by the Black Panther Party because so now they're two distinct things, I think, and that right there shows you what the problem is. People just can't get together on an idea. Everybody's jockeying for position, essentially. When the whole point is unity, come up with a plan a plan so good that everybody, the average guy, follows you. It's also a recruiting game, and they don't do any of that. So, whatever. They're Not Fucking Around Coalition. And by the way, I've said this before. I criticize why we're still in this boat. I said this before. The Black Panthers were fine when they were educated and marching stuff. Once they started carrying guns, there was only like 800 of them, maybe high as 2,000 nationwide. But they didn't have anything. They didn't have an army. Now you're carrying guns, letting people write laws uh, that makes it legal for them to kill you, and then not actually look into unjustified killings like Fred Hampton, right? So what you should have did was just stay to your own and open more schools and raise more money and not got in bed with them. And now you're completely gone. Um, and I do mean completely gone. It's sad to say, but it's true. I mean, when I grew up, these were the people that I was taught to like love because they were looking out for people. And then as time passes by and the history is told, it's all just, they were just young people in their 20s and 30s against the state. What did they know? All uneducated, all with a feeling. And then some got corrupted by money, some got to run for Congress. A lot of them were just murdered off and sent to prison. Some went down the wrong road of violence, like they were going to win. So it was all this kind of shit in the 60s that it's sort of, how can I say this? It colors who I am in a way, right? I mean, I'm for the underdog, but I'm also kind of like a huge fan of like, I grew up saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I think that's a good thing. You should have some allegiance to the place you live in, right? And now in the more modern era, all that shit is just antiquated bullshit, I guess, right? But people still want shit. So how do you get it? And now that's where you are, right? Liberals tell you they want you need to vote Democrat, and the Democrats only do what the wealthy want them to do, and the wealthy don't care about the poor. They definitely don't care about the poor blacks. So now you got a problem with wealthy liberal people in the Democratic Party and the ultra poor base of the Democratic Party, and you're all on Facebook arguing it out. And what is the point of it? Where does it go? What is the point of it? Other than making you stress because you can't deal with it. I could just be sitting here practicing this thing needs to be tuned. I haven't tuned in a while. Where's my tuner? My tuner's in the other room. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, we're gonna have to get that tuner. Wow, this virus is a pain in the ass, man. So I lost two family members in the last 3 weeks. They were not old people. They were not old people. Um, So yeah, remember the virus is still out here. Um, I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do, but this is my thing. If you get it and recover, it doesn't mean that you didn't give it to somebody who didn't recover. Wow. It's still around. What did Dave Chappelle say? The worst part was the first 5 days to see how sick you were going to get. Was one related to a Haywood? I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question. Um, yeah. So, no, yeah, another. It's a black militia. It's a. I mean, it's not. Look, it's I said this before. It's a response to the inactivity of the government and the lack of faith in the judicial process and absolutely no faith in your politicians. So you may look at this now and roll your eyes at it, but every year it'll become a little more and a little more, even by small increments, not like large ones where you notice it in 3 years. But by the time these places have been around for 30 years, you're going to have a problem. And I'm big for Minutemen, but Minutemen are for the, oh, that's not good. Let's get rid of that. Minutemen are for like, uh, founded 4 years ago, 2017. Leader John Fitzgerald Johnson, Grandmaster J. Motives established to protect, self police, and educate Black communities on firearms, and their constitutional rights. Establishment of a separate Black nation. There's your meat. But you didn't mind giving one to the Jews, right, in Israel. That happened in the 50s. So why would you be against it here, right? The Scottish and the Irish wanted it in England, and but you're against that because the English are your allies. But the Chechens wanted that from Russia, and you agreed with that because Russia is your. And so I'm pretty sure that this whole thing right here, the whole Black Nation thing, carve out us a piece of America for a Black Nation is a non-starter. Ask the Indians how that worked out. By the way, I mean just saying, ask the Indians how separate but equal worked out for them. Oh my gosh. No one can go to this funeral. Activities. The first reported appearance of NFAC members was May 12, 2020, protest near Brunswick, Georgia, over the February killing of Ahmaud Arbery, though they were identified by local media as Black Panthers. Johnson stated that the NFAC did not fucking around. If you want to get serious, you might want to take your name seriously and get rid of this bullshit. I think whoever the next leader is will seriously take that into account because I mean, come on. Johnson stated that the NFAC, they're not fucking around. What is it, coalition? Yeah, not fucking around coalition. Provided armed security for the sister of Rayshard Brooks at her request. Here's the thing: just because you're gathering around somebody with guns, don't mean you know security work, right? But the idea that they're willing to do that, knowing what that means, is a big thing. So, of course, they're being watched, and if once they get any bigger, someone will infiltrate them. But you know, people know these dirty tricks. People would do them in the 50s and 60s, but now they all leaked out in the 70s and 80s, and now people know all these tricks. Um, and news gets around a whole lot faster now outside of sources than they did in the 60s and 70s. So yeah, it looks to be a new era of whatever this is. People arming themselves. It feels like the 1830s, right before, like 20 or 30 years before, like the first shots of the Civil War. But it also feels like Cuba right before the fall, when people were from rich Westerners were you treating it like rich Californians would treat like places in Mexico, right? They would fly down to Cuba for the weekend and gamble at the casinos. Meanwhile, people were starving in like the out in the, not the woods, but like, the outer lands. It was very like the Brazilian favelas. So then like uh Castro comes to town and wreaks havoc and changes the place. But since the Americans couldn't control him, he went with the Soviets, right? I mean, I wonder what that could. But he didn't want to be. Look, America is run by corporations. He didn't want to be a corporatist, and now corporatists are the biggest threat to America right now, right? They run candidates, they get laws passed, they perpetuate out lobbying. You and your one horse town or whatever the case we are. On the 4th of July, 2020, local media reported that about 1 to 200 mostly armed members marched through Stone Mountain Park near Atlanta, Georgia, calling for the removal of the Confederate monument. Reuters reported that the number of participants as scores, which is like lots. It's more people that I can get together. The NFC posted video of the event and reported the number as 1,500. So it was either one or two. Don't put the lies up. 1,500. Stone Mountain Memorial Association, which operates the park, stated that the protesters were peaceful and orderly. Johnson stated of the site, which is important to the Ku Klux Klan. Our initial goal is to have a formation of militia in Stone Mountain to send a message that as long as you're abolishing all these statues across the country, what about this one? He also said that the formation was a response to a threat by the Ku Klux Klan, to start shooting black people at 8 p.m. on the 4th of July, 2020. Johnson thus stated at the formation, I want the heart of the Ku Klux Klan to hear me no matter where the fuck you are. I'm in your house. Where are you at? You made a threat. We don't threaten. That's the kind of, you don't see what I'm saying? Like, look, this is a thing that should have been did a long time ago. This kind of talk is man, you have bombings of churches and all this other kind of wild stuff. And now you don't have any civil rights leaders that go, well, cooler heads should prevail. We should march, and people won't march. So now you need to do something. And it can't be war, for God's sakes. Uh was watching a Bo Dietl podcast. He's 70. Said he retired 38 years ago. Bo Dietl. Oh yeah, the private detective. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's a private detective. Um, back people would get on the police department back then at the age of 18, 19, and retire at like 40. Yeah, so it's totally possible. Because it's not about how long you're in. It's not about you have to retire at 65 like some jobs. It's 20 years in, and that's it. So, but yeah, Bo Dietl. Yeah, what is his high profile case? Then he retired. Then he became a private eye who knew people and ate at all the like the fancy schmancy restaurants like Eileen's. And there used to be a ton of restaurants where the mobsters would run and people would eat there. Celebrities would be seen there, and that was sort of how But then when they cleaned up all the mobsters, there were still some of these places that were clean. Uh, Taos, New Mexico. Rayos. Okay, I'm gonna have to look him up. after this thing, right? So, but this threat is amazing. The formation was in response to the threat by the Ku Klux Klan to start shooting black people at 8 p.m. Johnson thus stated, I mean, mind you, somebody did walk into a church and kill 9 black people, right? I want the heart of the Ku Klux Klan to hear me, no matter where the fuck you are. I'm in your house. We are here. Where you at? You made a threat. We don't threaten. On July 25th, a local news outlet stated that more than 300 members were gathered. Ugh, oh, stop it. This gaming mouse is really tricky sometimes. 300 members were gathered in Louisville, Kentucky to protest the lack of action against the officer responsible for the March killing of Breonna Taylor. The NFC posted a video of the event on its official YouTube page, reporting the number of militia registered and present as 3,500. So they're saying somebody's lying here, right? So you want to call it halvesies and say there were 1,500 protesters? On July 20th, preceding the event, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, remember this guy? And the Louisville Metro Council, President David James had a phone conversation with Johnson, with the AG's office described as productive. In response to an announcement, the NFC presents about 50 armed men, 3%ers counter protested. I don't even know what the 3%ers also styled 3%, 2% are an American Canadian far right anti government militia movement. In response to the announced NFAC presence, about 50. Oh, so a white militia showed up to counter protest. Everybody's armed. Excellent. This is kind of cop powder gag we need a lot more of here in America. Louisville police in riot gear helped to facilitate the maintenance of space between the groups. Everybody gets the right to have freedom of speech and a gun in America. Yeah. People were marching for fucking 60 years. It was, I mean, you should have done something while people were peacefully marching. Now you've got armed groups telling you to fucking do something. Right? And you can't take the guns away because it's in the Constitution. Right? You have a right to fucking organize and arm yourself. Now everybody's doing it. It's so ridiculous. The NFC said that the discharge. Oh wait, there was a discharge. The NFC members were local helped to facilitate the maintenance of space between the groups. 3 NFC members were wounded during a negligent weapons discharge. 3 negligent weapons discharge. That just shows lack of discipline. The NFC said that the discharge occurred when a person who was not yet admitted into formation collapsed from heat exhaustion and fired her weapon. The weapon was an older shot. Oh, okay. The weapon was an older shotgun that Johnson said would not have been approved for formation. The shotgun projectile hit the ground, then ricocheted and hit 3 people. Johnson reported that 2 of those hit were checked by medics and cleared to continue in formation. They got medics. That's good. I'm pretty sure it was city medics, if you really want to know. Wow, this story is amazing. On October 3rd, over 400 members of the NFC, along with over 200 other armed protesters, marched down Lafayette, Louisiana. This demonstration was sparked after United States Representative Clay Higgins made threats against protesters who showed up armed regarding the shooting of Trayford Perlin at the hands of police. Trayford Perlin. We're not going to go down the rabbit hole. Oh, boy. May 12, 2020. Body cam footage shows fatal shooting of Trayford Perlin. Video captured 1 year after his death. Wow. All right. Mayor Johnson first like it. Woman arrested for barbecue protest in front of mayor's house. A barbecue protest. No indictment against Lafayette police officer in shooting. A year later, Trayvon Pellerin's death brought national reckoning to Lafayette. No, then the story goes away. July 13, 2021, State Police report on George Floyd shooting deaths. July 14, 2021. His killing is justified. July 16, 2021. What are you going to do when they say it's justified? Only thing you can do is fucking cry. It's sad but true. So yeah, the fix is in and no one gives a fuck anymore. So I expect for us to be shooting at each other in about the next fucking either 4 to 10 years. And people are not going to be fucking surprised because everybody's got military service and a land of guns. Ugh, it's so sad. It really is. All amidst global temperature spiking and dropping and worsening storms and water issues and food. Yeah, it's gonna be a fucking shit show. If we don't get our shit together. On number 12, Kansas City-based activist Keiajah, Keiajah, let's go with Keiajah Brooks announced via Twitter that she was under protection from the NFC for multiple alleged instances of harassment committed by officers from Kansas City Police Department. A week prior, she went viral online shortly after a video was released of her criticizing the local city commissioner for choosing profit over people, as well as her push for the police chief, Rick Smith, to resign. How long can they watch you? How deep are their pockets? On December 3rd, Johnson was arrested by the FBI, their leader, for allegedly aiming his rifle at police officers during protests about Breonna Taylor. He was later federally indicted the following year on February 21st, 21, awaiting trial. Yeah. Yep. See, that wouldn't happen if you had like 20,000 members who were willing to be ridiculous. Yeah, 300 people is nobody. What are you doing? On June 23rd, 2021, former NFC members Othell Ozone shot and critically wounded Daytona Beach Police Department officer Jason Rayner in the head whilst he was conducting a proactive patrol. He then attempted to disable the body cam worn by the officer. 3 days later, Wallace was arrested after police found out he was hiding at an alleged NFC affiliated property in DeKalb County, Georgia. According to Daytona Police Chief Jakari Young, 4 other people were at the said property, along with multiple firearms, multiple flashbangs, body armor, and ammunition. Yeah, so what? None of this shit means anything. Nobody got a drone. The NFC slated Othell Wallace was terminated from the organization on January 21st, 2021. So he returned from the organization 6 months before this whole thing happened. They said they were not affiliated with the property as reported, claiming it was owned by another ex-NFC member. Yeah, that's the shit that kind of got the Black Panthers derailed in the like early 60s or early 70s rather. Kind of this wild bullshit. Like anybody's gonna stand for you killing a policeman. Stick to educating people and opening stuff. How's that? I mean, it's comically bad. All right. Do you want to look up Bodito? I'm sort of sad now. Media personality and actor. Yeah, good for him. All right. And mind you, also, when you're one of these people who are like running a group, you're under surveillance. They wanna put you away because you're a fucking problem for them, and they don't want your group and your message to grow. So why are you pointing guns at people? Why are you getting involved with drugs? I mean, just zero discipline. Drunk on the power and the bullshit. right? And then you don't reach out to grow your organization, whatever your organization is, because your message does not translate to any but a few, right? Dr. King's message translated to everybody, not just people in his tribe, but people outside the tribe, because it's about simple fairness, essentially. Hmm. That's good news. A missing kid was found alive. Tiger Woods back on the green. Tiger was spotted at a golf course with his son. Here's the thing about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is just, I mean, I know you might love him, but man, Tiger Woods seems to have an addiction issue, right? And those pills will do it to you. Didn't they kill Tom Petty and Prince and Michael Jackson, right? Those super sleeper pills that relaxes you a lot, and then you're super relaxed, and then before you know it, your body is so relaxed that you stop, your lungs collapse, and you stop breathing. Um, I mean, that last thing essentially was what it looks to me like a Dewey. But it looked like he got like love from the cops and wasn't charged with a Dewey. But that's him. Okay, so what did Bill Maher do? Bill Maher has jumped the shark, by the way. And Bill Maher has a bleak election prediction. Who doesn't? I mean, what is Biden's approval rating? Oh my God. Biden's approval rating falls to a low of 38%. Wow. What are you gonna say about that? Look, listen, I hate to be the dude who said I told you so. In my voting life since I've been 18, I think I've only picked a losing candidate maybe twice, right? But the person I voted for didn't always win, right? And even if I felt bad about it, voting for them, I was like, ugh. But yeah, I think I have a pretty good eye for this shit. This is so ridiculous. Look at that mustache. Okay, first of all, we all need to calm down. A majority of voters, let's close this. A majority of voters disapprove of President Biden's job performance, according to a new poll from Quinnipiac, which found the president is struggling to keep support among independent voters in particular. He lost independence in particular. The poll found 38% of those surveyed approve of Biden's job performance. That's 62% of people don't. Why don't you just say that? 62% of people disapprove of you, right? That's the larger number, but they want to be positive. So they say 38% approve, right? I mean, it's sort of like it's weird word games of um, approve of Biden's job performance, while 53% disapprove. No, you mean 63%. You've got a 10% differential. What's the 10%? Biden's number of dropped from a Quinnipiac poll released last month that found 42% approved of his performance and 50% disapproved. Wow. Who's the most popular member of this freaking administration? The dip can largely be contributed to Biden's loss of support among independents, 60% of whom said they disapprove of his job performance. In September, the poll found 52% of the independents gave Biden poor marks. The survey found Biden got his strongest ratings on his handling of the coronavirus, where the White House has taken a more aggressive approach. Yeah, making people do something. So that's the thing. Uh, I mean, I just lost some people to this thing. I wish everybody would want to get mandated, but I don't know if you can make everybody get mandated, right? And how many people? I mean, there's 340 million, but a lot of people won't do it. Ugh, I don't know. I'm paranoid about it. I've said this before. I wear a mask everywhere. I would encourage you to wear a mask, but you do you. Um, wow, the wind. I'm just thinking that I have a sage burning in the other room, and I should probably go check on it. Uh, but I don't, I don't smell it because the wind is blowing this way. Uh, so I'm like, I wonder if the whole room is on fire while I'm sitting here talking to you and feeling sort of bad for my cousin. Um, wow. All right. I'm gonna take it on faith and on God that it's all right. Tomorrow is our 7:30 a.m. Sunday session. It will be the 10th once a week. That's 10 weeks. That's pretty impressive. It will be the 10th Sunday session. Uh, all are welcome. We're gonna have a little 7:30 a.m. No, we're not gonna have a celebration. I was gonna actually cook dinner, but we're not gonna do that. Yeah, there's a lot of people losing their jobs. That's what people are proud of. That the government can make you do something. It's all very bizarre. Um, they can make you get a corona shot. Uh, if they can put, well, I don't know. I just think it's funny, right? Let's look at the thing that the liberals want and the conservatives want. So the conservatives don't want shots, and the liberals want to make you get shots. The conservatives don't want what don't they want? I don't know. Let's stop. I was just gonna go down a dark road. All right. 52% of independent. The survey found Biden got his strongest rating on the handling of the coronavirus pandemic, with White House that took a more aggressive approach to vaccination mandates. In recent weeks, cases of hospitalization and death in all fall across the country. So they're falling. In recent weeks, as cases, hospitalization, and death, I mean, it's too late for my cousin, but death all fall across the country. 48% of the voters approve of Biden's handling. 48%. It's underwater by 52%. That's what that means. But less than 40% of voters gave Biden positive marks on his handling of the economy, his job as commander in chief, his work on the foreign policy and immigration. The polls, because he's just sort of an arrogant pinhead, he always has been. The polls surveyed 1,326 adults from October 1st to October 4th, has a margin of error of 2.7 percentage points. The Quebec poll is the latest to show Biden's approval rating sinking, particularly among independents. A Gallup poll last week found Biden's approval rating among independents fall to 37%, the lowest it has been since Biden took office. He took office 10 months ago. He hasn't been in office a year. Oh my God, it's going to be a long 4 years. And he's talking about running again. Good Lord. How old is Joe Biden? How old is Joe Biden?
Joe Biden is 78 years old.
78. All right. So by the next election, Joe Biden will be 81. And let's say he wins again, then he'd be 84. That's not happening. That's not happening. It's completely not happening. The Quinnipiac poll showed Biden approval rating sinking, particularly among independents. A Gallup poll last week found Biden approval rating among the independents fall to 37%, below it has been since Biden took office, slipping 24 points below his 61% approval rating at the beginning of his administration. An administration press poll released last Friday found Biden's approval rating among independents dropped 62% in July to 38% in September. That poll puts Biden over approval rating at 50%, down from 50% in August. Wow. So, wow. This tells me a couple of things. This tells me, and I've been saying it forever, the midterms are what you want to focus on. And watch how fast everybody who's continuing to run um, will distance will distance themselves from him. Uh, they're not riding his coattails to a second election, on second term. Um, it is a little chillier than I thought it would be. So, what is Mars bleak election prediction? Oh, I'd have to play it. What did Bill Maher say about the election? Okay, why things are going to Glum Bill Maher details why things are going to hell in the USA. The country is in crisis, and real time host Bill Maher is predicting that things could descend into even more chaos. I think I just said that, even though I don't agree with Bill Maher on most things. When the potential election coup could generate violence in the streets and a total constitutional crisis. Maher outlined the steps he saw leading up to the unlawful moment in his New Rules closing monologue. And then he made his point. I hope I scared the shit out of you. But it's a long way to the moment with HBO show started with an examination of why things are devolving into political crisis to the point where talk of civil war and politicians being chased in the bathrooms are part of the regular news cycle. Yeah, no one's happy with your bullshit. Like I said, I don't mind if you have nice things for yourself at that level of government, but you got to do something for the people at the bottom. And the whole position is fuck the people at the bottom, right? You let companies run and write their own laws. And like I said, maybe people didn't know this in the 50s, but people know it now. And it's a game of I know what you're doing, right? And it's anger, I think. Uh there's a lot of people losing their gigs because they won't get the shot. Yeah, and they're making it super hard. Like they're making you get tested every 5 days or every morning and all this other shit. Then they're talking about making you pay for it. Yeah. So you have a freedom in America until you don't. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, the president can mandate the soldiers to do stuff, but and I'm of one of those people who are like, well, it's a pandemic. Maybe you can, but the fact that nobody can tell me that makes me think you can't. But and I think it's a bigger picture. I think it's perpetually telling us Americans. I know this is a global show, but here us at home telling all of us that so they can get elected. Our problem is each other, right? And they will save you from like the other group who they just demonize, and everybody does that. And now no one believes the speakers, and no one believes the organizations, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. No one believes these religious branches who people used to believe. The Catholic Church is just like 22,000 raped children, and was it Brazil? What am I thinking? I'm just kind of like Jesus Christmas. This story has been slowly leaking for 30 years. It's just kind of like, who do you go to when you need faith? Because I hate to say it, but I think the human animal is a social animal. We like people. It's every now, don't get it wrong, every now and then there's anomalies, right? Some people like to be alone. I totally get that, but most people like each other, whether that's to argue with, or talk to, or play games. You know, people are social creatures, um, and I believe that. And I think, you know, it's all right. Never mind. I'm off on a jag. I don't know. Um, I don't know. This thing is just so funky. It hits everybody so differently. I would totally say get your shots. One cousin I know, she didn't have her shots, but this cousin, I don't know if he had his shots. It's just, I haven't seen my mom. I was telling my sister this. I only see like my sister and her family, but every time I leave the house, I have a mask on, and I just I haven't seen my own mother in like 2 years. I'm not very happy about it. And people stop talking about where it came from because there's money wrapped up in them demonizing people. And they didn't even give us, in my opinion, the real honest story on that. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, it's amazing. Uh, It's just one of those things, I guess. So yeah, let's just talk about it's right before the holidays too. Good Lord. Um, yeah, we don't talk about the the virus here, but yeah, I am very paranoid about it. The country's in crisis, and real time host Bamar, he said that yeah, everybody's unhappy. You can't have everybody be unhappy. Everybody protesting. We just talked about black people have given up marching and now are carrying guns, right? Um, a lot of people have given up. A lot of people have given up, and the people in charge don't have a plan to fix much. I mean, the president approval rating is at 38%. That is outrageous. I wonder if it'll fall any further. He's around George Bush Jr. territory, right? Didn't he drop to like 38% in like the second half of this thing? Uh Abu Ghraib and all that. He know that there's never a day where the headlines scream the 137,000 escape from extreme poverty. The nostalgia for the golden age. What are you talking about? All right. Oh boy. All right. So thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Uh yeah, man. I mean, how do you even just send flowers? All right. Family's important, people. Friendships are important. You got to cultivate these things. Um, I'll know the place is getting better when marriage comes back in fashion. Yeah. Man dead after shooting in Southeast Houston. Hmm. Czech voters oust communists from parliament for the first time since 1948. It took you all this time to get rid of your communists and your party is 2021. Derek Chauvin has to pay for his own lawyer, Minnesota Supreme Court rules. See, that's the weird shit. Aren't you? What if you can't pay for a lawyer? He's in jail. What if he was like, I'm not even going to participate in this? Then they would have to appoint a lawyer anyway. Why would he not want to pay for his own lawyer? I don't know. I've always been a proponent of the judges to say shit, and you as a layman should be like, yeah, that makes perfect good sense. But American judges play these, hidden in the law games where that's how they win, and they don't make any sense to you or I. That tells me that they're wrong. The idea that a company is a person is bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. Um, and if there were a person and they do some of the stuff that companies do, you should be able to at least stop them from operating because you can stop a person from operating, right? You can freeze their movement, throw them in prison. What would you do with a company who sells bad, goods or leaks oil in the ocean? What do you do with a company that's a person and what do you do with that? I don't know, man. One motorcyclist killed, another injured after Montgomery County crash. Uh, man, I always wanted to ride a motorcycle. But now I'm just too old, baby. I am. Right? I've got old twitches that are just ingrained. And I think I'd be fine for like a year and a half or maybe 6 months. And then when I really need to have these things ingrained of having been a rider since a young man, I think I'd fail. Uh and don't get me wrong, you can still build them up, right? I just think that I would have to ride for like 25 years, 30 years, actually maybe 10 or 15 every day to get kind of like the instinctualness of being a motorcycle rider that I would need. and I don't think that's likely to ever happen. So I'm gonna spend all that time trying to like play the guitar. Trump is on the campaign trail, and the only person covering it is Fox News. I'm telling you, the American media talks about fairness. They're trying to wipe him out like he doesn't. The only news they want to give you is crime news about Trump, right? That's all they want to give you. Meanwhile, the president's polling is at 38%. This midterm election is gonna be a thing. I might start actually following, like, because I usually begin to get really interested in elections round about this time, like November. This, well, yeah, about October, November, uh, because the elections next year, and I want to see who makes moves. And it's horse racing. I think it's really interesting, and I really like to be smug and right when I pick like the right horse because I can read the social cues. But some of this is just goofy. At least I think I can read the social cues. Like I said, I haven't been wrong a lot. Um, Trump is stomping. He's boosting some Republicans in the South on the campaign trail. Who is Biden going to boost? I mean, he boosted Newsom in California, right? But now he's at 38%, and maybe Newsom was the last person he could have helped. Oh, wow. It's amazing to me. It really is sort of amazing to me. But like I said, people need stuff, and you're not doing stuff for the people. What then, right? The people turn on you. And so I've said it a ton of times here. I don't so much look at that January 6th thing as an insurgency. I think as a riot. As only, some people can riot. Black dudes did that. They'd have been shooting into the crowd and killing people and saying they protected democracy, and they'd have had a lot more people. But this is just ridiculously stupid. And they were just a stupid mob. Um, yeah, they were a really ridiculous mob. But they weren't going to run the country. Nobody in the Pentagon was going to listen to them. But everybody's unhappy. Everybody is unhappy. So what do you do? What do you do? Everybody's marching. Everybody's marching. What do you do? And when I say what do you do, I mean like you're the politician who's trying to avert civil unrest. Do we want to call it that? Plus, you got Bill Maher, a notorious liberal, preaching uh, the fall of the society. But mind you, for the last 4 years, Bill Maher was preaching a coup by Donald Trump, and I was on saying that's not the way coups work. You don't get to talk about them for 4 years, and the guy who's launching the coup doesn't deal with you first, right? So yeah, there was no Donald Trump coup. Um, and now he's talking about unrest. But you know what? I've been talking about unrest for about 10 to 15 years now. So maybe he's late to the party, but everybody's unhappy in the land of guns, in a society where the politicians on the left and the right told their constituents that the others' constituents were the problem, whether they be criminals or lazy or secret communists or all this other shit that you heard, right? Um, this game of keep away by the rich, right? This game of collapsing, and we talked about it here again. We talked about the idea that when I went to high school, you could take economics and shop class and theater and music, and now a lot of this stuff is gone, right? There's few shop classes. Nobody does woodworking class, do they? Uh, we had home economics, cooking. We had an actual science lab that took all the science shit out. So what is your school actually doing with the kids other than sports? And a lot of their sports programs are only for like the stuff that people watch on TV, right? What about? Are there chess clubs, right? Do they feed into to trying to find what a kid may or may not be good at while he studies with the other kids, right? School is also for socialization. And a lot of that is just gone. And then you're surrounded by like just teachers who really don't want to be there, right? They're trying to write their novel or whatever. Um, Waiting for something better to come along, finish up their masters, so they can go teach in college or whatever. And now, I mean, did you undercut the society to try to gain control of society? Uh, in a society that's, I don't want to say smarter than that, but in a society where information flows freely and people know what you're doing, or people can have this information used against you, again, you're the politician. Um, I don't know. I just don't know how they fix it. I think we sort of need, I hate to say it, but I do think we sort of need an FDR moment. And Joe Biden is not the FDR moment guy. And I've already said why Trump got elected because people were desperate, right? And they were desperate. They tried Obama, then they tried Trump, and then they went back to this old thing. Now they're going to get desperate again. So who will they pick? But they hopefully this time around maybe it'll be like some up. But man, the upstarts are just as problem as the guys who've been there for 50 years. All I know is who's going to fix the system. Who's going to fix it? People are looking at the military now like, are you kidding me? So when you got to the point where you corrupt the military generals and people are just kind of like rolling their eyes at the military generals, I think you've gone like too far, right? Um, you don't want to be blatantly corrupt, but you want people to what's how can I phrase this? Uh, you want to be mildly corrupt where people can't really prove it, or every now and then the story comes out every 10 years that somebody got arrested for doing something bad, right? You don't want to see you be so blatantly corrupt, but everybody just rolls their eyes at you, right? Like the end of the Communist Party, where everybody knew that the system didn't work and they would make against Russian jokes and KGB jokes, but they couldn't get anywhere and they didn't understand why they couldn't have blue jeans, right? And but there's no food, so people can obviously see through MTV and all this other shit how the West operates, and you say that people, so it's this. So you get into this place, and now people sit here and go, maybe capitalism isn't the thing if only the super rich get it. And then for shits and giggles, what they do is they shoot planes off into space, um, while I'm over here trying to fucking get $15 an hour from Walmart. Not even 15. What was it? It was they raised the minimum wage to like, is it 15 now? I think it's 15 now. But it was like six forever, where it's like in New York, it's like $3,000 a month rents, and people are making like $9 an hour. It's an impossibility, and people are like, but remember, nobody ever changed anything. The reason why Europe changed was because of the Black Plague, right? It made people change how they operate. But it wasn't. It would have been because the kings would have been like, "We're going to free the serfs, and we think that you and your happiness matters as well," right? It wasn't any of that. So here we are. We're sort of going through the same thing. Now, a lot of people who are working, you know, 7-Eleven, Burger King are like, I don't want to do that anymore. And now the 7-Eleven and the Burger Kings are like, we can't find workers. Yeah, maybe, look, I would work in 7-Eleven or Burger King if in 5 years I could own a 7-Eleven or a Burger King. And that's impossible. You just work there forever for $3 an hour or whatever the fucking case, and they give you free fries, and you're like, I'm never gonna get out of this. It becomes like being a miner, where you hear those stories about people getting black lung and there was no option but to work in the mine in these small towns. That's why all the Waltons are. Yeah, yeah. He gave all this money to like his 7 kids, and they all ended up being like the second, third, and fourth and fifth richest person. If he had kept that money and or gave it to one person, he would have more money than like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Forbes combined. Like he just because not everybody was on PC or anything, but everybody had to buy food, right? And he had just the market cornered on people buying habits. And now that same kind of magic is going to be done by Amazon. They're trying to move in that direction. But hey, I like my internet Wasmos and stuff, but I sort of like the stuff that I get from the grocer better. What happened to the Mars candy billionaires? Were they as rich? Yeah, the Waltons, I think they inherited $13 billion like back in like the 80s when that was just a ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. And then the internet thing hit, and like old companies like GE that would worth like $10 billion were getting just dwarfed by like Microsoft, which was worth $100 billion in its first 5 years or some shit. Yeah, candy. It's the pleasures, right? The whiskey people, the candy people, like the movie people. People like the entertainment. I can't knock them for it. Uh, but then they get into what the problem here is that we can't find good work, and then the workers are uppity, and then they start throwing their money at uh, Congress people and senators, and then the senators obviously take the side of money, and then the senators fuck you over, and that has been what has been going on in America since I would say the golden age, since about 1912. But like I keep saying, it was hard to keep a secret back then, right? You could do something, then maybe it will come out in a book 30 years later. Now people sort of know that you did it within like 3 weeks if it leaks, right? And they cancel people and they come after you. So it's sort of hard to kind of get this glide going where you have this, and even when you're spotless like that, people take shots at you, right? And they tarnish your legend or your legacy. And there's all these kind of dirty tricks to tarnish you so you can't be president, even if you're a righteous dude, or to clean you up to be president, even though you're a shitty dude. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure everybody's trying to raise their stakes now to get people, right? Nobody wants to be trapped in these dead end gigs anymore. Um, we looked up like why are people like, yeah, people want to go back to school, people like now's the time. um I've been home all this time, I've been trying to go to school, or this, like I can't get the hours I need, or I have to work all these hours mandated, and then for no money on some days, and people are just kind of like, why am I here? My bosses like, um a lot of these bosses are like, you know some bosses are, not all of them, but some bosses can be aggressive or sexist or racist. Why am I with this boss? Some bosses can just be, mean or out of step. Maybe you don't like the work. So yeah, all these people are sort of trying to shift their alignment because they all watch the same thing, right? Super rich people basking in the sun and the glory on giant yachts. Uh, yeah, everybody wants the same shit. Uh, Yeah, that sounds like the snaky kind of shit to do. Make sure everybody works just under 20 hours or whatever the case may be. Does Home Depot pay well? Home Depot sales associate earn an average of 11.34 an hour, and department supervisors earn 15. Wait, so what is the minimum national? Okay, uh, according to Glassdoor, catchers can earn just shy of 10 an hour, but lucrative benefit might make up for the low pay. Lucrative benefits. Home Depot salaries, the Home Depot hourly pay, Glassdoor. Is Glassdoor the Home Depot versus Lowe's credit card, which is right for you? Here's why Home Depot stock could make you richer. Home Depot with Walmart a sign of bigger things to, I guess, come. Huh, well, maybe that was a million years ago. Now they seem to be righteous. Yeah. Everybody wants to tell you what a good company they are for the worker, but I mean, the movie industry is about to go on strike, right? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Uh, I don't understand the movie life or etiquette or any of that, so I won't go into as to who's right or who's wrong. To me, making movies and you can do it and be in the union, you're making a shit ton of money already, more money than I'll ever see in my miserable little life. So, but yeah, let's see what I'm sure there's a diamond cutters union. where people are like, I only made $3 million last year. I need a raise, and people, yeah. So, we've been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. We have 5 minutes to go. I'm actually surprised that we did the whole show. I told my mom I'd call her back tomorrow. Uh, yeah, man. You grow up with people, right? Now you're never gonna see them again. Oh. I might need more. Why is this an F? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change these strings. Yeah. Not pretty awesome, huh? I thought about the trumpet. Uh, in a pandemic, do you really want people blowing anywhere near you? Hmm. Supposed to be working on my Fs. Is that it? This is it. Oh boy. She thought about the trumpet. But here's the thing about those blowy instruments: spit builds up in them. Ooh, that was nice. What was that? That was my F. That was my unbarred F. Ugh. Ugh. I'm just fiddling. I'm sort of what I do is the chords that I'm comfortable with, I practice moving around. And then I slowly work in the new chords that I learned as I fiddle. Like this A minor, and this E major, this E minor. No, this A minor and this E major. So this is my E, this is my A. Do I know any songs? You know, I don't know any songs yet. But I've only been playing since June, so. So what I have to work on is my arpeggios and a couple more scales, get my F down, and my bar chords, and then I'm off to the races. And by that, I mean, I think I'll be able to start playing stuff soon because I've been sort of messing around with a couple of songs. But I think to sit down with my little music stand and go, okay, I'm gonna learn this song from Cinder Stern. There's a couple of more things I'm interested in knowing. But yeah, I think I will be able to play something by by January. And by something, I mean a lot of stuff. Yeah. Will I be good? Probably not. Will it be fun? Absolutely. D, E major, G minor, F. What is that? Sharp? F sharp. F sharp major. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's weird how we learn things. All right, let's close that. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna end it. I feel bad. I don't feel bad. What do I feel here? I'm sad and I'm sort of not a nerd, but I am sort of. I guess this is what melancholy is, right? I'm sad, but I'm sort of expected of it in this environment. It's hard to say, man. There will definitely be a Sunday session tomorrow. We will see everyone at 7:30 a.m. Oh, I may have to run out and buy milk because I have no milk for coffee. So maybe I'll do that. A nice brisky windy day, clear my head, maybe roll. I used to like to roll a nice little joint, walk over to the 7-Eleven, get some wholesome milk, and walk right back. Maybe I'll do that. My little way of sticking it to the man, but now weed is legal every place, so what's the point of doing that? All right. Remember, we're here every day, 6:30, Monday through Saturday. Please like and subscribe. It's super important. It helps the channel out. Like me here, like me there, like me there. Like me on YouTube, Truist Armor, like me on Twitch, Karma Armor, like me, 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 like me. And I will be here looking at stuff for you, I guess. We'll do it together. God, right? It's a pandemic, people. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your friends. Uh, dare I say, get a shot, wear a mask. Dare I say that? If you're so inclined, I don't want to harsh your mellow. Uh, but like I said, if you get it and you recover, doesn't mean you didn't give it to somebody who died, right? Um, like and subscribe. We will see you tomorrow at the next session. Tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Uh, it's Sunday. It's the Sunday session. What are we going to talk about? God only knows. Who knows? Maybe we'll try and learn a song tomorrow. Um, give ourselves like 90 minutes, 2 hours just to see if we can get it down. Uh, yeah, why not? That'd be fun. Um, Sunday sessions normally go 7:30 to what 11. Just talking crap usually, but sometimes the short ones go till 10. So we might get an hour or two out of Sunday session guitar work, right? All right, who knows? We this is a fly by night operation. Uh, we chit chat and learn as we go. God only knows, huh? I don't think I know this song. That's pretty good. When I was young, I thought the guitar would teach you. There you go. Yes, there will definitely be a Sunday service tomorrow. But let's look up this song. God only knows. God only knows. Is this a song? Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody knows, nobody sees you. Oh, not nobody sees, nobody will believe you. The Beach Boys. Oh, God only knows. All right. You mean the most yeah, sometimes you get so famous. Why would you name your song after a song everybody knows? Right? Wow, those are some. I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you'll never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, though life would still go on, believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. Huh. God only knows what I'd be without you if you never leave me. The world could show nothing to me. So what living do me? So the second verse he sings it twice. If you should leave me, the life would still go on, believe me. The world could show me nothing to me. So God knows. The second verse he says, and God only knows what I'd be without you if you should ever leave me. He says it again. This song is essentially two verses. I never noticed that. Huh. Huh. That's interesting. Uh I was looking up song arrangements because I'm way ahead of myself and I need to calm down. And I was looking up the Shirelles, which was like a really nice, simple. They were like, man, yeah, music, man, it's amazing. It really is, and I'm coming to it late. Uh, God only knows what I dream. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, so we were ending this thing. We've been streaming for an hour and 24 minutes. We stream every day. Uh, every day. Uh, please come on through tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, remember if you show up tomorrow and you hang out for 10 minutes, it counts as church. Remember that. Um, and we guarantee so your soul is instantly cleaner. Uh, and that's a true armor guarantee. Okay. So tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Get your coffee ready. Come hang out with us. It's Sunday service, as we call it. Sunday session, rather. It's a Sunday service. Uh, in service for you on Sundays. Oh, the Dodgers, the Giants and the Dodgers, baseball. We're headed down into it, aren't we? When is the World Series? Is it? I like it when it's in October. I hate when they put it in early November. November. Arg. October 30th. Yep. Yeah. That's next week. What's today? Today is the 9th. Tomorrow, Rays and Red Sox. Dodgers and the Dodgers and the Giants. They're in the bottom of the 8th today at 9:07 p.m. Is that what you think is affecting it? Where are they playing? Are they playing in is it cold in Atlanta? Bottom of the 8th tomorrow. Yeah. Goodbye, New York Yankees, right? Yeah, the guys. Yeah. All right. Well, um, we'll see. All right, so let's end this one. Is it cold in San Fran? So what does this statement mean? It's not good when it's freezing out. Is it cold in San Fran? It's nice, right? I've never been. I expect all Western locales are beautiful, sunny and Palm Spring treesies and all this good stuff. Uh, when it's in November. Oh well, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Uh, all right, so that's it for us. I wonder if there's got to be something to. I should. I'm in my own head trying to figure out what I'm going to do. What I have to do is finish folding the laundry, which is a mission still. Um, and I might make myself a steak tomorrow. I may do that on cam. I've been getting the crave to add something to my cooking on my YouTube channel. And I was like, maybe that'd be the first thing I shoot and edit properly and then stick on YouTube. So look for that. And then once I figure out my life, I will let you know how it's going. Because this is sort of a talk session, chill session, journal session, life goes on session. And it will go on. Remember, uh, don't fall too in love with the politics of it. It'll make you crazy. That's why we're over here playing guitar and trying to enrich ourselves through other things. So we're not wholly defined by our politics, right? Or our ethnicity or our what's the other one? Gender or our social connections, right? We have some inner life to us. Because like we discussed today, it looks like everybody's angry at everybody and wants you to blame everybody for your issues, and you can blame everybody. Wait, want you to blame everybody for your issues, right? And they can blame you for their issues, right? Um, and that just leads to fucking disaster. It really does. Are my show endings pre-recorded? No, no. I'm a little too real. I need to make it a little more professional. But no, I don't have a pre-recorded show. I need to get all that. I need to get a website and the Patreon and a schedule. My schedule is I'm just here every day to talk to you, to kick in with you. Uh, I don't want to be too gimmicky, and I think a lot of stuff can be gimmicky. I just want to talk to whoever wants to show up. All right, so that is it for us. We are out. It is. We've been streaming for an hour and 30 minutes, and it is 8:02. When is sunset tomorrow? 6:30. When's sunset tomorrow?
Sunset tomorrow will be at 6:34 p.m.
Wow, 6:34 p.m. I can't be late. I have to be here before sunset, or I'll turn into a ham sandwich. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, trees and bushes, spoons and forks, shoes and sneakers. I will see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Man, it always gets tired when I try and watch Saturday Night Live and then show up at 7:30 a.m. Uh, I will be here, uh, and I'll be ready. So be here with me and be ready with us. And maybe we'll figure out what the world problems are on some random Sunday morning. Us conspiring to be great together. All right. So have a good one. Thank you, Will, for showing up. William, sorry. Um, I always show up people's name is a bad thing. If your name is Francis, I'll apologize if I call you Frank, but I'll correct it immediately. Uh, but if your name is Richard, I'll never call you Dick or Willie. If your name is William, I want to thank my man Ted Hicks for coming through and saying hey to us, dropping a little for us in the chat, and I will see the rest of you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Please get at us in the chat. Let us know you're there. Let us know how you feel. And I will see you in the next one. And the next one is tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Sunday service. Booyah. Later, alligator.